Welcome to The Growth Spurt, a weekly AI podcast by the Second Baptist Church of Ann Arbor. Today we're diving straight into a recent and, I think, really thought-provoking sermon from Dr. Stephen J. Daniels Sr. It's titled, Do Something With It. And this message, it comes at a really crucial time as our church continues its whole examination of stewardship, looking towards 2025.
That's right. We've been talking about this theme quite a bit.
Exactly. So our goal in this deep dive is pretty simple, really. We want to unpack the heart of this sermon, explore what it truly means for you to be a good steward of the unique gifts you've been given.
Yeah, the ones specifically given to you.
So let's start at the beginning. What's the foundational idea that Dr. Daniels lays out first?
Well, right at its core, the sermon kicks off with a pretty significant perspective shift. Dr. Daniels is very direct. He says, quote, your money, it's God's money.
Wow, okay. Straight to the point.
Your gift ain't your gift, it's God's gift. So he's establishing right away that, whatever resources, whatever abilities we have, they aren't ultimately ours. They're entrusted to us.
Okay, entrusted. That's a key word there. It really does make you stop and think, doesn't it?
It does.
And to illustrate this idea of God handing out these gifts, the sermon brings up the parable of the talents, Matthew 25. What stands out about that story in this specific context?
What's really interesting there is how the master distributes the silver in the story. 5 bags to one servant, 2 to another, 1 to the last.
Right.
And the text says, according to their ability. That part's crucial.
Ah, okay. So it's not random.
Exactly. It suggests a divine understanding of our individual capacities. It's like a tailored entrustment. It kind of prompts you listening to consider that the skills, the opportunities, the resources in your life, maybe they aren't just accidental.
That they were specifically given to you.
Given to you for a reason.
Okay. So if we accept that premise, that these are gifts entrusted to us, what does the sermon say about what we're supposed to do with them? I mean, it can't just be about passively receiving, right?
Absolutely not. No. Dr. Daniels tackles that head on. He asks pretty pointedly, do you really think that God gave you a gift just to sit on it and do nothing?
Puts it right out there.
Yeah. He emphasizes that these gifts, they come with an expectation, an inherent expectation for, action.
Action. Okay.
And he goes right back to that parable again, highlighting the master's reaction, a really strong reaction to the servant who just buried his talent, hid it away.
Out of fear or maybe laziness, right? That image of the wicked and lazy servant, that really sticks with you.
It does. And the sermon also touches on why some of us might, hesitate, why we don't use our gifts.
The excuses.
Exactly, the excuses. Dr. Daniels kind of humorously points out our human knack for rationalizing inaction. We get pretty creative finding reasons why we can't or shouldn't step out and use what we've been given.
Yeah, we've all been there, I suspect. It forces a bit of honest self-reflection, doesn't it? Like, where might you be making excuses right now for not using your talents or taking that opportunity?
It's a challenging question.
Which, okay, that leads us naturally to the flip side. What happens when we do use our gifts well? The sermon talks about God rewarding good stewardship. It references Matthew 25, again, verse 29. Can you unpack that principle for us a bit?
Sure. Essentially, the sermon highlights that. Well, the quote is, to those who use well what they are given, even more will be given and they will have an abundance.
More will be given. Okay.
But then there's the contrast. From those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. It's a principle of growth through action, really, and a warning against just stagnation.
So the reward isn't necessarily like a transaction. It's more about capacity increasing.
I think that's a good way to put it. Actively engaging with our gifts seems to cultivate more opportunity, more capacity. It's about growth potential being unlocked.
Right. So it's not just about avoiding, the negative consequence, but actually about unlocking potential for greater impact down the line.
Exactly.
And Dr. Daniels is really clear, isn't he, that this whole stewardship thing, this doing something, it's not just about financial wealth.
Oh, absolutely not. That's a key point. The sermon broadens the scope way beyond just money. It's urging us not to be lazy or complacent in any area where we've been gifted.
He had that definition of lazy. What was it?
Yeah, he said, a lazy person is one who can but won't.
Can but won't. That's powerful.
It really is. And he gives these relatable examples. It could be offering your musical talent to the church choir, maybe using your professional skills, your day job skills for church projects or community needs.
Or even just basic things.
Yes, even taking proactive steps about your health.
Right.
Recognizing your body as a gift that needs stewarding, too. It's about seeing all these different abilities and resources as God-given and then, well, putting them into action.
Yeah.
Doing something with them.
It really brings it down to earth. Makes it practical. It's not always about, some huge grand gesture.
Not at all.
It's about actively engaging with what you have right where you are in your everyday life. So as you're listening now, maybe take a second. What are the gifts you recognize in yourself? Could be skills, time, energy, relationships. Are you actively using them? Big ones, small ones, and maybe what might be holding you back? Is it fear, comfort, just inertia?
Good questions to reflect on.
And Dr. Daniels also mentioned, for those who want to dig deeper, there's an upcoming Wednesday discussion right here at the church focused specifically on spiritual gifts.
Yeah.
So that's a potential next step.
Definitely. Ultimately, though, this deep dive into do something with it really just surfaces a powerful and very practical message.
Yeah.
It's fundamentally a call to recognize where our abilities and resources actually come from their divine source.
Yeah.
To embrace the responsibility that comes with that, the need to actively use them, and also to understand that our engagement, our action, it leads to growth. It leads to more opportunity. It matters.
It really does. A call to action, not inaction.
Precisely.
Well, that feels like a good place to pause for today. Thank you for unpacking that with us. Go in peace, be blessed, and may the joy of Jesus be yours. We'll see you next week.